Let's make this cool pinch plate. What we're going to need today for this project is some clay. So I have about 300 grams here of clay. I've already wedged it up and it's ready to go. I'm doing this on a wee board, so if you have a board or a little bat, then use that. I also have some ribs here if I wanted to smooth the clay, and a cutting tool of some description. So I have a needle tool and I also have a wooden knife tool. We may not use these, they're kind of optional. And we have some water and a sponge. So we're going to start off by kind of squashing this clay down into shape. I'm going to stand up to do this. And I'm going to use the ball of my palms here to kind of get down on the clay and give it a squash. And this kind of just helps to start the process off, so that you don't have to just be pinching away at everything for the whole time. So here we go, we've got a rough kind of disc of clay. I mean, you would stop there. That's kind of a cool plate if you had an interesting glaze on it, I reckon. But we're not going to stop there, we're going to just kind of keep pinching it around. So you can pick it up and start pinching from the middle outwards. But just make sure that you're supporting the whole piece of clay as you're going, so that it doesn't flop or kind of tear under its own weight. So we're going to keep pinching all the way around. And you can see that the clay is like slowly growing. It's kind of like a little pizza or something. Don't like throw it up and do that, because I feel like that would be unhealthy for the clay. Maybe fun though, I don't know. Okay, I've kind of pinched all the way around, and now I'm just going to use the flatness of my bat here to kind of support the piece. So I think standing up is better for this one. I don't know, I feel like I've got more range of motion. Up to you. If you are nice and chill sitting down, then stay sitting down. Who am I to judge? You can just kind of do it however you want. Like, so this is my method at the moment. I'm gonna go from the middle and go out in like stripes, I guess. And it's just kind of pushing the clay outwards. And at this stage, I'm picking up the whole bat and I'm turning it around rather than trying to pick up the piece all the time and move it around. Just press down on any bits that feel a little bit too thick and try and get a really nice, even slab of clay. You can do it with both thumbs if you want, or you could do it with your fingers. Just gonna pick that up and kind of unstick it and keep on going, keep on pinching. It's less like pinching now, I guess, and more kind of like pressing. So we've got like the basic shape there of a plate. We're gonna just go in with one of these rib tools and kind of soften all of that surface there where you've been pinching. Spin it around and go the other direction as well. That's it for smoothing. We can go back in a little bit and kind of clean it up a little bit more. But we're gonna now bring the edges up. So again, I'm gonna stand, I don't know, I feel a little restricted when I'm sitting down. I'm just gonna bring the sides up and with my thumb, kind of angle where I want it to be. I'm at a funny angle here because I want you to see it on the camera. But now I'm gonna do it to kind of what's true to me, which is kind of working up here at like 10 or 11 o'clock. And again, I'm moving the whole thing around as I'm doing this. Just pinching that rim up, unsticking it. And then I'm going to clean it up just by kind of smearing my hand all the way around and just making sure that it is kind of nice and even. This bit here, we've got like a little fold. I don't know if you can see that. I'm just going to clean that up by pressing the clay. It's nice and wet still. And I might even kind of hold it on both sides and kind of compress the rim a little bit here, just by supporting it on either side and pressing the clay down, and then I'm going to pinch it back out, and it seems to have kind of reinforced it a little bit. I'm going to go around with my finger and clean up that little channel that's come. And now we're going to leave this to leather hard before we kind of do the next steps. So you can see it's really floppy still. We don't want that. We want it to kind of hold its shape a little bit. Currently the clay is still quite sticky. You can see my fingerprints as I touch it. We don't want that. We want to be able to do stuff to it without it losing its shape. So you can leave it for half an hour or an hour or so, maybe make some more so that you've got a little set, or I'm gonna sneakily use my heat gun in this video. We'll get back to it once it has hardened up a little bit. Okay, we're back. It's not super hard yet, but we are able to work on it without it being really sticky still. So I'm gonna go in, I reckon, with a sponge, and we're gonna clean up this rim a little bit. If you wanted to, you could bring in your knife tool here and soften that edge, or even like a cutting tool and like cut this edge off if you wanted it to be nice and flat. I don't really want to, I quite like it the way it is, but you could do that if you wanted to. I'm gonna go in with my sponge, really carefully soften that rim. So I'm not doing too much to it, I'm just kind of brushing it over the sides, and it's really, like, there's hardly any water in here. It just kind of, I don't know, makes it look really nice when you go in with a sponge. A little bit of water with hand building goes a really long way, especially when the clay is really wet. You don't want to weaken it at any point, and I feel like too much water can definitely do that. I'm going to go in on the surface as well. Again, I'm supporting the rim with my other hand as I go in because I don't want to press that down flat. Okay, so we could call that done if you wanted a plain patterned plate. If you want to, like I've done, I've kind of pressed my fingers into it to create some texture. So I'm going to do that now to show you. So I'm just going to go in, again, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to go in from like 12 o'clock, and I'm just going to gently press, and I'm going to go around the whole thing. And you can support the rim if you find that it is kind of smushing too much. But I found because it's a little bit harder than wet, then it's kind of holding its shape while I add this texture. Maybe I'll do another little round as well. I think this is quite nice as well, like it adds some of the history of the pot and of the piece, kind of how it was made. It kind of shows you, or like shows the user what was done to it. It's quite cool. Maybe we can go in with a sponge again, just wring it right out. Just to soften some of these fingerprints. Again, not much water at all. And that's kind of it. So I am done. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna keep it on this bat because it's nice and flat, and so we want it to dry flat. I'm gonna bisque fire it, and then I'm gonna glaze it blue, and that's gonna be that. It's gonna be done. So you can make a little set of these to have as cute little side plates, or you could use a bit more clay and make them into bigger plates. But yeah, they're really beautiful, I think. Really nice way to make a plate, and yeah, really fun, nice little exercise. If you want the step-by-step instructions written down, then you can get my book, Hand Built. And in here is everything that you need to get started, as well as, I think there's a little bit more than 20 projects in here for inspiration and instructions. You can get it wherever good books are sold, and it is also available in a few different languages as well. If English is not your first language, you can get it in French, German, Dutch, and Danish. I think it should, I would like it to be in Spanish as well, but it's not. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you again next week with another pottery video, something in my studio. Maybe it is a bit of studio maintenance, a vlog, some throwing, maybe more hand building, who knows. I will see you again very soon. Thanks very much, bye!